Hello everybody, welcome back to Pixie Woo. Today's video I'm going to do for you is a little tour around the makeup that I use when I'm at home. Basically I have a makeup bag which is quite full, like that, and that's all the makeup that I use at home. It's got a couple of foundations in, a NARS one and a Chanel one. It's got a couple of concealers, but I'll just slowly take you through what I tend to use. I also have at home a brush roll, and they're the brushes that I use at home. So I've got my Real Technique brushes, a couple of MAC 217s, a couple of MAC 239s, a Louise Young contour brush, a couple of Louise Young liner brushes, and a MAC 266s, because they're the only brushes I really use at home, and my Real Techniques. So I'm going to do my makeup as I do it when I'm going out to meet my friends, or you know, just general day-to-day makeup. I'm going to pop a tiny bit more moisturiser on because I put my moisturiser on a little while ago, so probably need a little bit more. You don't have to put your moisturiser on with a brush. I'm just doing it so that my brush has a bit of moisture on it as well. Helps the products blend a little bit better. If you can hear noises in the background, it's my son Harry. He is it's Christmas holiday still, so Ian's off work and he's come into the office with me so I can do a video, and Harry's going crazy in the background. Right, Chanel foundation number 10. I'm going to pop that right the way over my skin. Now I keep a couple of concealers. I have a Moisture Cover in NW20 and NW25, and I also have the same in the Studio Finish concealer, depending on what I'm going to be using that day, or if I've got a tan. I normally use the Moisture Cover under my eyes. Just work it in with my finger a little bit. Then I take my Studio Finish concealer and I'll run that through my brows. I've always got red brows because I like to pluck them, and I always have one stubborn hair that I'm like, I have to get that hair. Then run a little bit of my Studio Finish concealer around my nose. Sometimes, if I've not had a very good night's sleep from Harry, I put a little bit of my Studio Finish concealer just in that very corner there. Get a little bit darker right in there. It just lightens it a little bit. I then move on to my Chanel bronzer. It comes like that. I'm going to use my contour brush. So I take my Chanel bronzer right around the outside of my face, and if I feel that it's a little bit too strong, I then go back in with my foundation brush, and it just makes it blend a little bit better. Now my skin's a little bit shiny, so sometimes I leave it like this, sometimes I powder it down. I'm going to pop a little bit of Studio Care Blend pressed powder. I think that's what it's called, yeah. This one is in medium. I quite like this because it still lets your skin show through a little bit. And I just grab a brush and powder my skin down. Really work it into the skin. And I tend to push it in because then it doesn't move your makeup, but it also really works into the skin. Next I do my brows, and I have got a Clinique Superfine, is it Superfine? Superfine liner and brows. This one's in Soft Brown 02. Probably need a new one of these. And I just shape my brow. I tend not to do too much at the front because I sometimes go over it with a powder. This is normally the point where Ian's like, are you nearly ready yet? So the rest I tend to really rush. As long as I've got my foundation on okay, then that's all that matters really to me, because that's the bit that stays put all day. Right, the next thing I do is I use my same powder that I used before, and I get a brush like this and I use it as a base rather than an eyeshadow, because I can never be bothered to find an eyeshadow as well, so I pop that on first. Then I get my palette and I use a little bit of, I tend to use these two colours mixed together with the same brush and just run it really softly through my socket bone. Not much of it. Just to shape the eye slightly. I then grab a single carbon that I have in my palette, it's just a little black, any black will do, and a angle brush, and really softly run that along the lash line. Hardly at all, it's just to thicken, make the lashes look a little bit thicker. I don't tend to use a gel so much at the moment, purely because I don't want it to look like I've got much on there. I then take my Clinique High Impact Mascara, I then use a little bit of, you can tell I've used a lot of this, I then use a little bit of Lady Blush, which is a cream blusher from MAC, and I pop that on the apples of my cheeks. On my lips I use a little bit of Clarins. This is Instant Light Natural Lip Perfector. I don't know what the colour of this one is. 02. I actually normally wear the pinkier one, but I can't find it. So this is the peachy one. I pop that on just because it's so easy. And that is my daily makeup. There's still lots of other products in there that I don't really use. I just keep them in there in case I decide to be a bit more adventurous. So if I'm not doing videos and I am just wanting something kind of natural, this is natural. Not really, but this is what I call natural. I hope you've enjoyed that and have a lovely day. Bye bye.